Strasznie lubię, jak oni rozmawiają, słuchajcie. Ach, te rozmowy. Ach, te tematy. Ach, te dywagacje na temat... Niedopracowanie tej gry miejscami jest porażające. Moi drodzy, tak jak obiecałem, wracamy do Sherlocka Holmesa na dobre, tak żeby dokończyć serię i mam nadzieję, że was to cieszy. Mam też nadzieję, że w związku z tym pamiętacie o tym, żeby zostawić kciuka w górę już teraz. Pod odcinkiem będę mega wdzięczny, to bardzo wspiera kanał, więc do dzieła. Tymczasem zobaczmy mieszkanie w ogóle. Będzie tutaj? Tak jest.
Excuse me, young man. Where do you think you're going?
Greetings, Mum. I'm looking for the...
I don't care who you're looking for. You shall not pass. No visitors allowed.
I wish to buy a painting from Mr. Boniface Mercurio. Is he at home?
Dearie, tell me, because old age has made me blind. Did someone write Information Bureau on my forehead? Because I'm not here to answer your questions. Entry is for residents only. If you aren't a resident, please leave, or I shall report you to the police.
Skraszowało grę swoją drogą, ale jestem tu i nie mogę wejść. Czyżbym miał się przebrać? Jak mieszkaniec? Jak malarz? Czy to jest malarz tam na dole? Myślicie? Ludzie, zejdźcie mi z drogi, bo jestem ubrany jak szermierzem na levelu 2. A to niebezpieczne zwierzę.
Nice affordable clothes. Let's pick something that suits you.
Sucju, jest, Sucju. O proszę, Sucju. Wyglądam jak Adrian Brody. Pianiście. Tylko kinol mam jakoś 10 razy za mały, nie? I co, mogę?
No visitors allowed.
Jesus fucking Christ, kobieto. On miał rozpiętą koszulę. Okej, przyszedłem. Dzień dobry.
Boniface, sweetie. Is that you? Ah, old age does terrible things to one's sight. I didn't recognize you at first.
How are you, Mum? I'm ashamed to admit that I've lost my key. Do you have a spare?
For heaven's sake! How many times will you lose that key of yours? Of course I have a spare. You artists all live in your own little world.
Please, accept my thanks.
I would rather accept your rent. You promised to pay me several weeks ago and I'm still waiting.
I will pay you, I promise, very soon.
You'd better do, my dear. Or else I'll just change the lock. And I won't fall for those cow eyes.
Klucz do mieszkania Merkuria. Nie tu, nie tu. A jednak tu. O kurde. Holy shit. A ty to co?
Don't look at me like that, Sherry. I will not touch that dirty floor.
Red skin, tails on the back. Reminds me of Verda's description of the stolen painting. The chest has been searched. Aunt May whiskey, brandy bucks. Quite a collection he had here.
Brandy Bug. Tak jak Hobbit. W sensie jak Riador Pippin i... Zaraz. Który z nich? Brandy Bug to miejscowość chyba w Hobbitonie. Nie pamiętam, kurczę blade.
I wonder where he got that fancy camera. Despite the overall tendency towards mess, you cannot sit with the drawer pulled out like this. Someone left it after searching. It appears the wine was truly awful. The blood has dried.
I've heard of this style of painting. It is called expressionism.
Tak mówisz.
The photograph was not pulled out in time. Such a waste of material. Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon?
To wygląda jak bardzo realistyczne zdjęcie. Okej. Cóż pozostaje chyba? To są obrazy czy zdjęcia wywołane? Dobra. Badaj gościa.
Judging by post-mortem rigidity, the body lay here for 1 or 2 days. The wound is precise. It was inflicted by a razor or a knife. Soaked in blood. It seems as if the puddle of blood was here before the rags.
Co jeszcze możemy wybadać? Pasek? Kieszeń? Jedna, druga? Nóż.
A normal kitchen knife. Could be the murder weapon.
Okej. To ciekawe. I weź teraz kombinuj. Czy ktoś tu szukał czegoś? A mamy jakieś w ogóle wskazówki? Zwłoki Merkuria. Zaraz ogarniemy. Złodziej czegoś szukał. Ten mu przywalił, sięgnął po nóż i tłukli się przy obrazie. Okej. Chyba tak.
Mercurio was developing photographs when the intruder snuck in. Mercurio heard him coming. While the thief was searching the chest, the painter ran towards him with a bottle in his hand. He smashed it across the thief's head. The intruder had no choice but to defend himself, and the weapon of opportunity happened to be a kitchen knife. Mercurio stepped aside to grab the painting, but the wine-blinded thief attacked Mercurio's throat. When the thief came to his senses, he saw Mercurio bleeding on the floor. He grabbed the rags and tried to bandage him, but it was too late. Why did Mercurio attempt to snatch the painting in the middle of a fight? To strike the intruder? Not with his painting, it was too important to him.
Czy to ma związek z tym obrazem? Mam wrażenie, że tak. Mam wrażenie, że to ktoś został zgwałcony.
Red skin, tails on the back, reminds me of Werder's description of the stolen painting.
Mam wrażenie, że tu się coś wydarzyło.
Look at this, John. Isn't it our stolen demon? It's time for some chemical magic, John.
O! Analiza chemiczna? Okej. Lubię to. Te minigry naprawdę lubię. Musimy otrzymać to. To jest +1, czyli... Możemy z tego i z tego zrobić. O, to będzie banalne. Tyk i tyk. Oj. Tyk. Teraz mamy coś takiego. 4 i 3 mamy i to możemy sobie dodać. Nie dodać. Tyk, tyk. 4 i 3. 4, 3, 4. Bingo. Sukces. Udało mi się usunąć krew z obrazu przy pomocy substancji chemicznych bliżej nieokreślonych. To obraz z rodzaju martwej natury przedstawiający pokój Merkuria. Czegoś tu brakuje?
That doesn't look like the painting we need, Sherry.
As expected, but that doesn't mean it won't tell us anything. Let's put it on the easel where it belongs. I guess this is his most ordinary painting. Spot the two differences, John? If the intruder didn't take it, the skull should be somewhere here.
Tylko gdzie? Gdzie czacha? Czacha, gdzie czacha? Jest.
Monster was actually a man. Poor girl. John, you ought to be thrilled. We are now hunting the devil himself.
What were you saying, Sherry? I was too busy sketching the scene, you know, crimes and such like, daily routine. Did you find something?
A photograph. It depicts a man in a red suit with tails sprouting from his back and multiple people in masks watching the scene. It all adds up. But the act of love, it wasn't given willingly, John. It was a violation. And the girl, she was with child.
Give that to me now. Did you recognize someone?
No. Although the victim is not from Cordona, she is African. Look at the ritual scars on her face.
Get that image out of your brain. You have to continue the investigation.
I must speak to the landlady. Perhaps she saw or heard something.
Sherry, you cannot tell her the truth about Mercurio. It will hurt her.
John, that's illogical. Sooner or later, she will come here and discover a corpse, and I still need to talk to her.
Just avoid mentioning corpse, all right? Stick to the character, tell her to call the police.
I'll take that into account.
And wait here. I've redrawn the people in the photograph. Now you can proceed with your investigation without those horrific details.
Zebrałem kluczowe dowody. Okej. Czy już tu nic nie znajdę? Dobra. Pogadajmy ze starszą panią. W teczce mamy... Kobieta w ciąży.
What's wrong, dear? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Can you tell me if anyone else has recently entered the flat?
Oh, you're talking about that limping man. I'm sorry I let him in. I was scared. And I thought maybe he would motivate you to find money so that you would pay your rent. No offense, dear.
Can you describe him?
Oh, so you weren't at home. I was so certain you didn't leave your flat that day. He was of average height, had a limp and a tattoo on his neck, and he was smoking Malpal cigarettes. My husband used to smoke those. They have a horrible smell I can recognize from a mile away.
Can I ask a favor?
Of course, dearie.
Please call the police and ask them to enter the flat, and don't look inside until they come up.
What? What trouble have you stepped in this time?
It really doesn't matter. Thank you, Mum.
Okej. Nowy wpis w dzienniku Johna. Dobra. Idziemy. To teraz...
Sherry, that was close. But you did everything correctly. Now, take off your outfit. I can't let you walk around in a dead man's clothes.
No wiesz co? Na siłę? Serio? Na siłę? To przynajmniej zdejmijmy tę głupią... tą, no... Wiadomo. Okej, pomyślmy. Mamy obrazek tej pani, tak? Ciekawe, czy dałoby radę znaleźć kogoś, kto jest przedstawicielem, kto pochodzi tego samego mniej więcej terenu. Gdzie kogoś takiego znajdę w tej dzielnicy? Oto pytanie.
May I ask for your assistance?
What a coincidence. I only learned of this recently myself.
Kenijczyk. Rysunek przedstawiający kobietę w ciąży. Blizny na twarzy dziewczyny zdają się wskazywać na pochodzenie z plemienia grupy etnicznej Ewe. Ludzie z tego plemienia mieszkają w Kordonie tylko w jednym miejscu obozie uchodźców, który znajduje się pod Victoria Bridge między dzielnicami Scaladio i Silverton. Scaladio i Silverton. Do dzieła, panie Holmes. Pod mostem, czyli że niby tutaj?
Beasts!
O kurde.
Murderers!
They're completely livid.
Is this familiar to you?
I like you, but I can't help.
Drop them all into the sea!
A to kto? Szkot pijak. Zbiera paprotki, ja pierdzielę.
Sir, this place is off limits to the public. Please state your business or leave, or I shall request that the police escort you out.
My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a witness for a case.
A private investigator? Really? Even so, you're not authorized. I can't let you in.
And you are?
I'm Ronald Harlow, here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
Udaje starszego niż jest. Pracuję przy słabym świetle. Chcę wyglądać na zdecydowanego. Poci się zestresowany. Co jeszcze? Prowadzi siedzący tryb życia. Ha! Ronald Harlow to blady młody urzędnik, który stara się jak może, aby nadzorować obóz uchodźców według przydziału zadań z ratusze. Nie jest szczególnie zachwycony zakresem swoich obowiązków, zawsze działa zgodnie z regułami i wykonuje zadania, które są mu powierzone. Poża granicy biurka, wygląda starsza granica jak naprawdę jest. Chyba to. Tak mi się wydaje, że oszołomiony formalista.
What about the murder that this crowd keeps shouting about?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
I know you want to deal with this in the right way. You are obviously a professional and a responsible person, but you clearly have never handled a situation like this before.
I am handling it, Mr. Holmes. Don't question my capability here.
And tell me how you do it. You can't even calm this gathered crowd, and as for the police, they're not quite managing it either, are they? You consider yourself a problem solver, but until today, you've been solving problems sitting at your desk in a dark corner of a city hall room. Here, you need a more practical approach.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return I need your help finding my witness. She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall.
Zgasło im
He'll
światło.
fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Okej.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor? What does that even mean?
In short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector. And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's being questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity.
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
I think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Okej.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona. A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk. A furrow in the ground. A blood trail leading to or from the canal. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently. Someone bled profusely here.
Ciekawe. Czyli rozumiem, że najpewniej odbyła się bójka tutaj. Tam mamy trupa.
May I ask for your assistance?
The law can't help you with that.
Jest tego więcej dobra.
A man's footprint. Police boots. Always happy to trample evidence. A heavy boot with a worn-out sole.
Sprawdźmy jeszcze trupa. Zanim pójdziemy w głąb. Tatuaż.
An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something? A steel dirk. Sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here. Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping John. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. A violent death. But this man, limping, coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
Dobra. Jeszcze są punkciki tutaj. Także jedziemy je wypadać.
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment. No hint of blood or impact. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike.
Ktoś dostał z ręki chyba w nohal.
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
Crash gry, ale fajnie. Hej, wróciłem, bo był crash i muszę cię badać jeszcze raz.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Sherry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
No pewnie, że tak. No. Co oczyści ranę, zdezynfekuje ją. O kurde. Coś, co oczyści ranę, zdezynfekuje ją.
I'll use it to create a solution.
Zaraz, potrzebuję coś, co zdezynfekuje ranę. Co może zdezynfekować ranę? Alkohol najlepiej, tylko skąd? Aloes.
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading. I've collected all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Holy Jesus Christ. Dawaj. Potrzebujemy czegoś takiego. Minus 3, minus 4, tak? Mamy 3 i minus 4. Minus 3. Minus 4 i tu plusik potrzebujemy. Jest tak. Dodajemy to z tym. I to z tym. Bęc. Zgadza się. Sukces. Okej. Teraz możemy go chyba uratować. Na wszelki wypadek zapiszę sobie grę, bo przecież gra się crashuje co 5 sekund. I nagrywanie jej to jest na katorga, więc lepiej kliknijcie kciuka w górę.
Thank you.
This should make you feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Okej. Miejsce zbrodni. Jeszcze coś? Jeszcze tu.
Clearly a left handprint here. You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
Jak się dostał do obozu?
If they find out about the passage,
O kurde, dobra, jeszcze
They
raz.
find out about the passage.
Okej, w końcu, Jezu. To jest takie głupie. Niska pensja. Raczej nie. Opinia publiczna nie może się dowiedzieć. Chodzi o pieniądze. O, dobra. Funkcjonariusze policji martwi się, że cała sytuacja z nieboszczykiem doprowadzi do zamknięcia ruchu i z obozu. Przedstawieni stracą zyski płynące z szemranych interesów.
Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly.
Sealed shut. I doubt our man could get through these grates.
Sherry, just look at this. Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
May I ask you something?
I uphold the law, so I'm not answering your questions.
Zapytajmy. Przebierzmy się za gliniarza. Dzień dobry.
Can I ask you a question?
Unfortunately, my casebook is empty on this.
O, jak intruz dostał się do obozu? Coś jeszcze? O, tu możemy... O! No, łodzią? Mało prawdopodobne.
It's unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards.
A, czyli co, wszystkie musimy...
No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs.
Jak intruz dostał się do obozu? Ha, kurde. Może wszedł po prostu głównym wejściem. Nie, to było niemożliwe, nie? O!
A single malpalbutt. Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp. Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Okej, to będzie ciekawe. Jedno jest pewne. Tu się zaczęło. Ciągnięte ją siłą. Tak. On zaatakował tym tępym kawałkiem drewna tak naprawdę. Nie, on jej nie bronił. On próbował pomóc. Dobra. Tak, on zerwał jej naszyjnik. Chciał stąd wyciągnąć. Kurde bele. Wiał, czy może próbował zabić? Wydaje mi się, że ktoś go gonił, dlatego że jeżeli go gonił, to oznacza, że tutaj mógł się wyrżnąć, nie? O kurde. This is Sparta? Pośliznął się, wpadł do kanału. Chyba tak. Nikt go tam nie wkopał.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates, he stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell. Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Okej, zdajmy raport. O, czekają nawet już.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve one problem for you, but will create a few more.
Oh, well, that's a great start.
The man came to the camp intending to kidnap one of your refugees, a woman. What he didn't expect was that the refugees would stand up to protect the woman. A brawl had broken out. In the chaos of it, the man stumbled over those crates and fell on his own blade.
How do you know he fell on his own blade?
The wound in his chest was inflicted from an unusual angle. It was not an offensive stab, shall we say. The refugees didn't touch him. And judging by the blood at the scene, the intruder managed to raise himself but was unable to walk very far. He ultimately fell into the canal.
But how did he sneak into the camp? Why didn't the police see him?
And this is where your new problems emerge, Mr. Harlow.
What do you mean?
You're not a dull-witted man. You know what I mean. There is no feasible way to get into the camp without the police guards knowing of it.
The pile of mess I had to sort out has just become bigger, but somehow that doesn't surprise me. Anyway, I thank you for your help, Mr. Holmes. I'll take it from here. Meanwhile, I'll make sure the police aren't detaining the refugees any longer. You can go back in and look for your witness.
Okej.
You think one small clerk can make any difference in this place?
Who knows, John? Just one ill-fitting cog could make the whole machine crumble.
You're the one who tended to our man's wounds. I thank you greatly. The police didn't allow us to help him.
The police will leave you alone now. I've proven to them that the man who came into the camp died due to his own foolishness.
Thank you for standing up for us. But nobody would help us without a reason. You're here because you want something.
Yes, I do. I need to speak with the girl drawn here.
The dead man came for her too. He wanted to take the girl away, but we won't allow her to be hurt again. What do you want from Naila?
Naila. She was hurt some time ago. I'm here to find the people who did this and bring them to justice. And to find them, I need Naila's help. Will you let me speak to her?
Justice. There's no justice on this land. But you helped us, so maybe your words are not empty. You can speak to Naila, if she wants it. But I will be watching you.
Hello, Naila?
To płacz czy śmiech?
My name is Sherlock. I know someone hurt you. I am here to help. I'm trying to find the people involved and bring them to justice. Please. There is a photograph, and I'm sorry, it is terrible, but I simply must ask. Where did this happen? What can you tell me about these people? Christ, Sherlock. Naila, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at this.
You come here for me, but you are rude and cruel and condescending. A cross. The man had this cross. Now go away. Leave us be. I do not need another white man's help.
Oh, glad that wasn't me.
Not my best work, John, by a long shot. Naila doesn't want us meddling. I'm starting to wonder what this all achieves.
But she helped you anyway. Now we know that maniac's face and the cross he wore, we can still catch him.
Okej. Kobieta ze zdjęcia. Dziwny krzyż. Odznaki takie jak ta zwykle przyznawane są urzędnikom wysokiego rzędu. Bez nich z fotografii może takowym być. Zbir pojawił się w obozie z zamiarem porwania kobiety, miał okazję ją zabić, to nie było jego celem. Malpal. O. Mężczyzna, który zabił Merkuria, złodziej z galerii, sama osoba. Pardon. Martwy mężczyzna z obozu uchodźców, ta sama osoba, która włamała się do galerii w ogóle. Członek gangu nie tylko złodziej. Nie jest on jedynym złodziejem, także porywaczem. Członek gangu, który zajmuje się różnymi zadaniami. Malarz przy złodzieja. Gość nie chciał zabić Merkuria. Nie było jego celem. Gość szukał zapewne fotografii. Złodziej poszukiwał zdjęcia. Chciał ukraść z mieszkania Merkuria zdjęcia, zamiast zdjęcia znalazł malarza i zabił go o samoobronie. Dobra. Medal w kształcie krzyża dorysowała. Czy możliwe, że odznaczenie będzie w którymś tym miejscu? Albo w gazecie, albo odznaczeni urzędnicy. Wysoko postawiony urzędnik. Urzędnicy chyba byli w tym, nie w Chronicle, tylko w... O rany. W ratuszu, prawda? Zaraz ogarniemy. Archiwa ratusza. Okej. Tatuaż? Nie. Rysunek tego pana potrzebujemy. O tego. Urzędnicy. Krzyża, medal napastnika. Brytyjczycy chyba, nie? Szpitalnicy. Na pewno zawód. Chyba zawód, skoro urzędnik, nie? Tak, Thomas Norton, urodzony w Londynie 1840. Zaczął pracować w Ministerstwie Spraw Wewnętrznych. Sama król przyznał mu order. Brytyjski wysłannik na kordonie. Ma w ratuszu własny gabinet. Holy shit. Okej. Mówisz, że ma w ratuszu własny gabinet. Pomocy?
I'm curious, how did Mycroft recruit you? I doubt you're a field agent. I imagine you work with intelligence.
That's correct. Your brother noticed me when I tracked down a spy at the archives. That's how our cooperation began. And you? Did Mycroft force you into this?
Not at all. We simply have a mutual interest in someone. Or something.
Of course. A fruitful and willing collaboration, I'm sure.
Well, I'm his younger brother. I have to accept the consequences of being a close relative of an official figure.
I suppose in a way we are colleagues, Mr. Holmes.
In the remotest way possible, Miss Oni.
Okej. Gdzie go znajdę? Gdzie może mieć biuro? Thomas Norton. O, dobry. Ja do pana.
If you're here on matters of signing up for military service, come back tomorrow. Our department needs to straighten out some business.
Profil. Nie ma czasu się ogolić. Nie spał zeszłej nocy. Noszony nie jest, okej. Wino. Pracuje po godzinach. Impresowicz, no. Bydle to bydle, no. I tyle.
Why are you staring at me like I'm a Madame Tussauds figure? Didn't you hear what I just said?
On my way here, I was wondering whether you might regret what you did. I tried my best to retain at least a shred of faith in humanity. I had hoped that you would hear her scream, see her face in your dreams, or at least once ask yourself how Naylor might feel.
Who?
Neither of my hopes were fulfilled.
Why are you here?
Do you recognize this man?
We definitely look alike. But you have the wrong person.
Really? Then you won't mind if I pass this along to the newspaper?
All right. All right. Is this about money, as you said in the letter? What kind of sum are we talking about?
I've never written a single word to you. Bribery, not my style.
So, that letter, it wasn't from you?
Well, it appears that more and more people in the city are finding out about your despicable hobby, doesn't it? You're in the clutches of justice, and very soon they will squeeze you. It's in your best interest to cooperate.
Fine. I suppose now we have a nice long talk. Do you drink, Mr.
Sherlock Holmes. And I do not.
Shame. All the best discussions are accompanied by a glass of whiskey. But out of respect for you, I won't drink either.
Respect? That's an unusual word in your mouth, Mr.
Where are my manners? My name is Thomas Norton, a British envoy in Cordona on a military mission. So, where do we start?
You mentioned blackmail. Tell me about it.
All right. A couple of days ago, I received an anonymous letter. It said that in the art gallery at Caravansary there exists a painting that incriminates me. The blackmailer made it clear that if there is a painting, then a photograph exists too. And I should be wary of what it might do to my reputation.
What does the blackmailer want from you?
Money, of course. What else do such people want? Needless to say, I don't remember anyone taking photographs at the party. Up until the last moment, I hoped he was bluffing. But he wasn't, as you've just proven to me.
Show me the letter.
I burnt it as soon as I read it. I've left enough evidence. There's no need for any more.
So, let's return to the beginning. What happened at the party?
I vaguely remember that night. As usual at such parties, you meet people, you talk with them, they invite you to spend some time alone with them. What can I say? I got myself mixed up with the wrong company, and somebody must have mixed some psychoactive substance in my drink. After that, it's all blurry. I completely lost my sanity. I made a terrible mistake which I regret deeply.
You don't say. Do refugee girls often appear on the menu at those types of parties?
It's rather rare.
So you didn't attend the party to engage in an exotic experience involving a vulnerable woman unable to accuse you of assault?
I would never have planned such a terrible thing. What happened was just bad circumstance.
The painting that depicted you in the image of the devil was stolen by a mercenary. Did you have anything to do with it?
I might be a rotten person, sir, but hiring criminals for illicit purposes is not in my daily schedule.
And buying the painting in an attempt to hide the crime, is that on your daily schedule?
What would you do in my situation?
I would never put myself in such a situation.
You're young. I could never have imagined myself in my current position. Yet, here I am in front of you. We all make mistakes, Mr. Holmes. And I'm no exception.
Boniface Mercurio, does the name mean anything to you?
He's an artist, right?
The one responsible for the painting that compromises you. I found him dead in his room.
Oh, that is bad. Wait, you don't think that I have anything to do with this?
You had motive to kill him.
Maybe I did, but listen. I know how this looks, but murder? That's on another level. I had thoughts that this Mercutio...
Mercurio?
Well, him, yes. I thought he could have been the blackmailer. But I was too afraid to make any hasty decisions. There were plenty of ways to fail by making a move, so I chose to wait. To see what he would do next. You have to believe me.
I don't believe people, I believe evidence.
Then look. at the evidence. Mr. Holmes, I've built my entire career on hard work and uncompromising dedication to the Crown. I made a mistake, but I'm not a villain from some cheap adventure fiction. By putting me behind bars, you will benefit precisely no one.
Rotting in prison is the least you deserve, but I have a better idea. You will make amends and help the ones you hurt.
Prawda jest taka, że Naila powiedziała, że... Chociaż uchodźcom, czy... Naila powiedziała, że nie chce już pomocy od białego nigdy więcej, a tym bardziej od gwałciciela, dlatego wydaje mi się, że lepiej będzie, jeżeli ogółem uchodźcom pomoże, nie?
Use your connections to help patriate the refugees, find them decent homes, give them jobs. There must be a meaning to your position and my decision.
Yes, all right, I can do that. So, will you give me the photograph now?
That's not all.
O,
Naila deserves the very utmost of what you can do.
Help the girl? I can't risk the press paying extra attention to her. I will do anything except that.
I need to think this all through. Don't do anything foolish in the meantime.
What makes you think you can decide what's best for these people?
Such is the arrogance of British imperialism. I take your point.
pomoże uchodźcom za fotografię. Ofiary systemu. Wysłannik interesuje się fotografią. Okej. Zasługuje zaufaniem, przebaczenie potem to zrobił. Okej. Tomasz Nocząc, wypróbowany rozpustnik, który dopuścił się okropnego czynu. Mogę mu ufać? Nie sądzę. Jeżeli mam być szczery, to nie sądzę. Mniejsze zło, czy bezlitosna sprawiedliwość? Musimy podjąć decyzję. I podejmiemy ją, moi drodzy, wspólnie, jeżeli macie ochotę. Więc napiszcie w komentarzach, co uważacie. Czy większe dobro, czy może niszczymy jego karierę i tak dalej. Większe dobro oznaczałoby też dobre życie dla Naili, a przynajmniej lepsze, nie? Warunki dla jej dziecka. Zobaczymy. W każdym razie, moi drodzy, mam nadzieję, że odcinek się wam podobał. Jeżeli tak, pamiętajcie o wspieraniu serii kciukiem w górę. Tymczasem ode mnie. W tym odcinku to tyle. Mam nadzieję, że się wam podobało. Pamiętajcie, że moje odcinki powstały dzięki wsparciu patronów z Patronite'a, do którego link znajdziecie na ekranie i poniżej. Ponadto pamiętajcie o kciuku w górę i tym, że odcinki na kanale pojawiają się codziennie o 16 i 19. Śledźcie Facebooka i Instagrama, żeby być na bieżąco, oraz Twitcha, jeżeli chcecie oglądać mnie na żywo prawie codziennie. Tymczasem trzymajcie je ciepło i do miłego usłyszenia.